In the vast skies of Atmos, a fearless squadron of young Sky Knights known as the Stormhawks soars into action. Led by the daring Arrow, they take on treacherous sky pirates and the enigmatic Cyclonian Empire. But as they battle through the boundless skies, they uncover ancient secrets and mysteries that raise intriguing questions. What hidden power do the mysterious crystals possess? Can the Stormhawks protect Atmos from its impending doom? Brace yourselves for thrilling adventures, unexpected alliances, and the unfolding of an extraordinary destiny in the captivating world of Stormhawks. A few years before the series starts, Arrow, Finn, Piper, and Radar are orphans living in a threatened fortress on a small Terra. Junko is part of the Cyclonian youth squad, which is causing trouble for them. One day, three men approach Arrow and reveal his heritage as the last descendant of Lightning Strike, the leader of the original Stormhawks. They give him a key and a map to the Condor, the legendary ship of the Stormhawks. However, this information leads to their capture by the youth squad. Junko, torn between loyalty and his conscience, secretly lets them escape. They find the Condor in the Wastelands, where Stork has been trying to find the key for years. Together, they team up and reclaim their Terra from the youth squad using the Condor's weapons and the Air Skimmer 3s. Arrow realizes that the Stormhawks were special because they protected everyone and didn't need a specific home Terra. The Stormhawks head to Terra Atmosia to become official Sky Knights, but hit a snag when they realize they don't meet the age requirement. The Red Eagles, who are supposed to protect the Terra, turn out to be traitors, and their leader, Carver, steals the Aurora Stone. After a showdown, Arrow defeats Carver and restores the stone. However, Cyclonia sends more baddies, and the Stormhawks defend the Terra but ultimately fail. The Dark Ace snatches the Aurora Stone and takes it to Terra Cyclonia, so our heroes decide to follow him there. The Aurora Stone gets stolen, and all Sky Knight squads fail to retrieve it due to the Dark Ace's power. Master Cyclonus plans to use the crystal for a devastating attack on all Terras. The Stormhawks go on a stealth mission to get it back, split into two teams. Finn and Junko find the stone but are captured. Arrow and Starling fight their way through to the Storm Engine, where Arrow destroys the stone to stop the plan. They make an escape, but the Stormhawks still can't register as a squadron due to their age. Meanwhile, Cyclonus and the Dark Ace prepare for more trouble ahead. Dark Ace and his talents invade Terra Gale, where an old man named Ren and his granddaughter Dove fight back using a Windstone crystal. Unfortunately, Dark Ace kidnaps Dove. 2 weeks later, the Stormhawks accidentally land on Terra Gale and get mistaken for Cyclonians by Ren. They learn about Terra Gale's history and agree to help rescue Dove and the imprisoned rebel ducks. After a series of battles, the Stormhawks succeed in defeating Dark Ace and receive a Windstone crystal as a reward. Arrow competes in a race on Terra Sahar, but faces challenges with his skimmer. Meanwhile, Finn makes a deal with the mysterious Sky Knight named Xerxes for a power amplifier. During the race, Piper is kidnapped by Xerxes, who reveals himself as the Dark Ace. Arrow wins the race but realizes it was a trap to leave the other squads vulnerable. The Dark Ace continues his attacks, but the Stormhawks unite the other squads to fight back and drive the Cyclonians away. In the end, they celebrate together, and Arrow shatters the Velocity Amulet to share the victory with everyone. Repton takes the Raptors to a reptile paradise that the Blizzerians have frozen over. The Stormhawks join the Blizzerians in their festival, where Piper is mistaken as the leader of the squad. Stork discovers the Raptors' plot to use fire crystals in a volcano, which causes an eruption. Suzy Lu, the Blizzerian leader, helps the Stormhawks evacuate her people, and they offer them a new home on Terra Nord. In the end, the Raptors are left stranded on the frozen Terra. The Stormhawks discover Terra Vapos, and that Finn is hailed as the long-lost hero in a prophecy. Excited, Finn goes to defeat humanoid bats stealing their supplies, but Piper learns the prophecy actually means he'll be devoured by the bats. They try to stop him but are put in jail for their interruption. Meanwhile, Finn is almost eaten but barely escapes, causing a cave-in to trap the bats. In the end, Arrow saves him, and Vapos is free from the bat threat. While trying to escape a Cyclonian feat, the Stormhawks end up in Terra Deep and face off against the Merc Raiders, who are a group of ship-raiding pirates. The Raiders board their ship but are defeated with ease. Afterward, the Merc Raiders spot Cyclonian carriers and decide to go after them instead, leaving the Stormhawks free to escape. The Stormhawks encounter the famous explorer I.J. Domowik on Terra's Ohm, who is planning to lead an expedition into the Forbidden City to find the Oracle Crystal. However, they soon discover that Domowik is in cahoots with the Cyclonians, and they must race against them to reach the crystal first. With the help of their skills and teamwork, the Stormhawks navigate through deadly traps and challenges in the Forbidden City. In the end, Arrow retrieves the Oracle Crystal and brings it back to the Condor as a gift for Piper. They successfully outwit Domowik and the Cyclonians, ensuring that the power of the Oracle Crystal remains in the hands of the Stormhawks. The Stormhawks find themselves in an unknown Terra, where they encounter the mythical creature known as the Leviathan. Stork warns them about the dangers of uncharted territory and the Leviathan's destructive power. When their ship, the Condor, goes missing, they learn from Stork that the Leviathan swallowed it. They seek the help of Triton, a dispirited Sky Knight who had lost his brother on a failed hunt for the Leviathan. After convincing Triton to join them, they pilot the Sky Quad, a partially broken ship, to hunt down the Leviathan. With some clever tactics and the use of Skyside Shanty's special sauce, they manage to rescue the Condor and defeat the Leviathan. Triton regains his confidence as a Sky Knight, and the Stormhawks are hailed as heroes. On Terra Sahar, Piper and Junko attempt to steal an artifact from a shady merchant to prevent it from falling into the hands of Snipe. They manage to get the artifact but are pursued by Snipe. Back on the Condor, Finn discovers the artifact's cloning powers and creates multiple clones of himself to help with ship chores. However, things get out of hand, and the Condor becomes overloaded with Finn clones. Snipe later steals the artifact and creates clones of himself to form an army. The Stormhawks and their Finn clones confront Snipe and his clone army, and they exploit the clone's vulnerability to defeat Snipe. They manage to retrieve the artifact and use it to reverse the cloning effects on both the Finns and Snipes. However, the artifact disintegrates in the process, causing a momentary scare that the original Finn might be lost. Fortunately, they find the real Finn hiding in a closet, and the team is happily reunited. At Terra Sahar, Ravis is building a powerful sonic cannon at Polaris Point to disrupt the balance of Atmos. Starling discovers this and seeks the help of the Stormhawks to destroy the cannon. Starling and Piper shut down the force field, while Finn plays music to counter the sonic cannon. After some struggles, they manage to shut down the force field, but a Talon disrupts Arrow's shot, sending the crystal off target. Starling takes the last crystal and goes to confront Ravis in the cannon chamber, while Piper flies into the weak point and successfully destroys Polaris Point. After the mission, Starling is offered a position in the Stormhawks. She refuses, but remains a valuable ally to the team. The Stormhawks infiltrate the Cyclonian Talon Academy to take it down. They meet a Talon named Lyn, who seeks revenge against them. After numerous pranks and challenges, the Stormhawks inspire the cadets to rebel against the Cyclonians. In the end, the cadets choose to become Stormhawks and join their cause. The Condor arrives to help them fend off the incoming Talon squad, and the Academy is liberated. In the end, Lyn and the cadets decide to become Stormhawks and tear down the Cyclonian propaganda. The Stormhawks find themselves stranded in the Great Expanse, a mysterious era where instruments don't function and navigation is impossible. Each member of the squadron recalls their own version of events that led them there, but Piper realizes that they are all illusions created by a Sky Siren. The Sky Siren tries to trap them in their deepest desires to prevent their escape. However, Radar, the squadron's loyal pet, overcomes the illusion and pilots the Condor to safety, as his greatest desire was to be the one to save the team. With Radar's bravery, they break free from the Sky Siren's illusion and escape the Great Expanse. The Stormhawks face trouble when Junko develops a toothache, causing chaos on the Condor. Piper uses a hypnosis crystal to calm him down, but accidentally hypnotizes Radar too. Arrow, Piper, Junko, and Radar go to Terra Wallop to see a dentist. Meanwhile, Finn and Stork help the people of Terra Vapos retrieve their stolen Serpegris crystal from the Merc Raiders. They also succeed in returning the crystal and saving Terra Vapos. Back on the Condor, Junko now complains of an earache, causing more trouble for the team. Argan, a renowned warrior trainer, sneaks onto the Condor in disguise and defeats each member of the Stormhawks, only to reveal that he's there to train them. The Cyclonians have received enhancement crystals, making them more powerful than any single squadron. Argan takes the Stormhawks to Terra Neon for a day of training using games as tools. Each member undergoes a unique challenge, improving their skills. Initially, they feel frustrated with the games, thinking they haven't learned anything useful. However, when they face the supercharged Cyclones, the skills they gain from the games prove essential, leading them to victory. The Stormhawks trade their beloved Condor for a new cruiser, but it malfunctions during a battle with Talons. Finn decides to trade the new cruiser for the Condor again, but it gets sold to the Colonel, who wants to break the airspeed record. Having no choice, the Stormhawks work as the Colonel's servants but try to sabotage his plan. During the record-breaking attempt, the Condor starts falling apart, and Stork takes control to save it. They succeed, and Stork becomes the new captain of the Condor. Finn manages to sneak a fake ticket into Cyclonia's Ultimate Warrior Championships, and the Stormhawks disguise Junko as one of the competitors. However, Finn abuses a hypnosis crystal on Junko, causing him to go into a berserker rage and become uncontrollable. Piper uses the opportunity to sneak into Master Cyclonus' office and gathers crucial information. However, she is eventually discovered. Arrow is forced to fight against the Berserk Junko until Finn remembers the password to disable the hold of the hypnosis crystal over Junko. The team escapes from Cyclonia with the gathered information. When their friend Dove accuses them of stealing the sacred cheese stone from Terra Gale, the Stormhawks protest their innocence. However, they soon realize that a series of robberies is framing them as culprits. To clear their names, they find a pattern in the thefts and realize that the Aurora Stone shards are the next target. The true culprits are revealed to be the Raptors, who have been using crude Stormhawks masks to impersonate them. In a mid-air battle, the Stormhawks recover the stolen items and expose the Raptors. The Stormhawks are surprised by attacks from a Cyclonian battle platform in the stratosphere, commanded by Ravis. They modify the Condor to reach the platform and confront Ravis. However, she reveals that the platform is just a launching pad for an Exopod, a powerful weapon that can destroy any Terra. Arrow is launched into the Exosphere to stop the Exopod but misses the target. He comes up with a backup plan to slingshot Radar to destroy the Exopod while he orbits the planet. Radar succeeds and the Exopod crashes, damaging Ravis's carrier. The Stormhawks and the Raptors race for a Gravitron crystal, which ends up sticking Stork and Loogie together. Back on the Condor, Piper tries to find a solution to separate them while Loogie learns about the Stormhawk secrets. Piper discovers that the effects of the Gravitron crystal will last forever if not neutralized in 2 hours, so they sneak into Gunstaff's house to find rare crystals to deactivate it. In the meantime, Loogie stands up to Repton and chooses to stay with the Stormhawks. After the Stormhawks leave, Repton discovers the Gravitron crystal and gets stuck with Splits and Hork. Back on the Condor, Piper remotely activates the Gravitron crystal, trapping the Raptors together and leaving them at the mercy of an angry Gunstaff. On a scouting mission, Piper meets Princess Peregrine, who longs for adventure beyond the castle walls. They switch places, and Perry tries to live Piper's action-packed life as a Stormhawk. However, she realizes that Piper's life is more challenging than she thought. Piper, in royal attire, faces challenges as the princess in Clockstopia and declares the use of crystals legal to defend the kingdom from Nightcrawlers. The Stormhawks come to her aid, and together they defeat the Nightcrawlers using Solaris crystals. Perry decides to take control of the kingdom, and Piper happily returns to the Stormhawks. Carver is released from prison as the evidence suggested he was under the influence of a mind crystal. He joins the Stormhawks, making them more famous with the media. However, strange malfunctions occur in Arrow's weapons and vehicle, leading Carver to accuse Arrow of being controlled by Master Cyclonus. Arrow is imprisoned, but Piper discovers the truth. Arrow escapes with Radar's help and exposes Carver's deception. Carver is sent back to prison where he rightfully belongs, but hey, our team has new uniforms. As the Condor reaches the edge of the Atmos, known as Sky's End, they encounter a dragon that turns out to be a disguised ship piloted by Rinjin, the last of the Dragon Knights. He reveals that he is protecting a sanctuary for baby dragons, as dragons were hunted to near extinction when air travel was established. The Stormhawks accidentally disabled Rinjin's means of protecting the baby dragons, and the Merc Raiders plan to take advantage of the situation. The Stormhawks manage to repair the dragon ship just in time to fight off the Merc Raiders, but they are outnumbered. Radar comes to the rescue by rallying the baby dragons to assist in the fight, driving the Merc Raiders away. In the end, the Stormhawks convince all the Sky Knights of Atmos to help protect the dragons, ensuring their safety and preserving their existence for the future. Piper steals a powerful nil crystal from the Gunstaff's hut to use it for repairing Arrow's extensive injuries after a dangerous accident. As the Stormhawks try to make Arrow comfortable, they face a new threat from the Nightcrawlers who attack the Condor. Meanwhile, Snipe breaks one of the Master Cyclonus' crystals, so she takes advantage of the chaos and sneaks aboard, defeating the Stormhawks one by one in her pursuit of the repair crystal. Arrow, now fully recovered, confronts and defeats Cyclonus, but she manages to escape with the repair crystal. Using the crystal to fix her broken one, a hologram of her past self with her grandmother, the previous Master Cyclonus, is generated. The Stormhawks answer a distress call from a small Terra and meet Noob, their #1 fan. Noob becomes an annoyance, wanting to see them fight Cyclonians, but they haven't been active for a while. Suspicious, Arrow investigates and finds out Master Cyclonus is planning something big. The Stormhawks ask Noob to leave, hurting his feelings, and he ends up captured by Ravis. The Stormhawks arrive to rescue him and also learn about Cyclonus' secret plan, Operation Exodus. After the search for Operation Exodus turns up nothing, the Stormhawks decide to take a vacation on Teratropica. However, they get separated when a tsunami hits, and Arrow, Finn, Junko, Piper, and Radar are separated from Stork and the Condor. Stork is ambushed by natives and escapes into an ancient temple where he finds a strange door guarded by a crystal golem. Later, he makes it to the Condor and picks up his friends just before another tidal wave hits. Back on the Condor, Stork tells them about the natives, the golem, and the strange door, but they don't believe him. In the end, Cyclonians are seen heading towards the same temple. Something is definitely cooking here. Master Cyclonus goes on a secret mission to retrieve the doorway Stork found. She leaves Ravis in charge, who abuses her power at Snipe's expense. Snipe stages a mutiny and takes control of Cyclonia. However, Snipe's irresponsible actions lead to Repton and the Raptors overthrowing him. Now in charge, Repton prepares the fleet for an attack, but the Raptors, unhappy with Repton's leadership, accidentally drive their ship into Cyclonia. In the chaos, Repton, the Raptors, Snipe, and Ravis end up locked in a cell. Lugi takes charge, but Master Cyclonus returns and forgoes punishing the traitors. Instead, she banishes Ravis for her incompetence. The Stormhawks return to Teratropica to investigate the temple, but Ravis is there instead of the doorway or the monster. She reveals that the door leads to the far side of Atmos, but Cyclonus needs the key to open it. After the Raptors destroy the Condor, the Stormhawks are scattered. Piper seeks help from Gunstaff, who agrees after revealing his family is also held captive by the Cyclonians. Finn lands on a Blizzerian garbage truck. Junko teams up with wrestlers to fight off Cyclonian, and Arrow receives guidance from the three Guardians. Meanwhile, Stork follows Repton to Terra and liberates it in a fit of revenge, impressing the locals who decide to rebuild the Condor. And finally, Snipe is banished for failing to defeat Arrow. As the reconstruction of the Condor progresses with the help of countless volunteers, Arrow and Piper investigate Cyclonian activity in the Forbidden City. There, they confront Master Cyclonus and the Dark Ace attempting to summon the spirit of the Oracle to find the Oracle Crystal. Surprisingly, this crystal is in the possession of Piper, who received it as a gift from Arrow. During the battle, Cyclonus takes the crystal from Piper, who displays new and dark powers. During the battle, Cyclonus takes the crystal from Piper, who displays new and dark powers. They manage to escape, and back at Terra, Piper worries about her newfound abilities, which resemble those of Cyclonus. Meanwhile, Cyclonus opens the far side door with the intention of harnessing the Oracle's power. In the ultimate battle between Atmos and Cyclonia, Master Cyclonus displays her Nightcrawlers armed with potent crystal technology from the far side, making them an unmatched force. Meanwhile, the united Atmos army charges into Cyclonia to put an end to the long-standing conflict. Also, Piper grapples with the discovery that her new power, the Binding, has a dark side that could turn her evil if she fully masters it. Despite the risks, Piper remains determined to develop the power, believing it to be crucial in the fight against Cyclonus. As the battle ensues, the united forces successfully defeat the first wave of regular Cyclonians, but face overwhelming odds when Cyclonus releases a second wave of Nightcrawlers, equipped with advanced technology. To complicate matters further, Cyclonus transforms her Terra into a flying fortress, giving her a strategic advantage. With the fate of Atmos at stake, the Stormhawks and their allies must overcome Cyclonus' powerful forces and find a way to bring peace to their world. 9 days after Cyclonus destroys Terra Gale, the Dark Ace takes over Terra Atmosia with the Nightcrawlers. 6 weeks later, Cyclonus has conquered most of Atmos, trapping allies in crystal prisons and scrapping all vehicles except the Stormhawks. Also, Piper's health is deteriorating from using the binding. The Stormhawks fake surrender to shatter the crystal prisons and free the Sky Knights, but their attacks on Cyclonia fail. In a final battle, Arrow and Piper face Cyclonus and the Dark Ace, and their trust triggers a powerful binding phenomenon called the Perfect Attunement. Cyclonus tries to empower the Dark Ace to match the odds, but it backfires, destroying him and the Farside Crystal in the process. The Stormhawks disable Cyclonia's levitation pontoons and Cyclonus escapes to the far side. The Stormhawks follow and the series ends with the Stormhawks at the far side, in awe of the new land. On the other side, Starling vows to give the Stormhawks their well-deserved recognition once they return from the new land. So that was Stormhawks for you guys. If you enjoyed the video, then leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for similar content. Thanks for watching, we'll see you at the next one.